Hello everyone, and welcome back into another video. I'm FranklinTurtz, and I'm your internet turtle. Virtuosa has arrived, and she brings with her some new mechanics and a new, much happier, if not a little cocky, attitude. I wanted to make a video to give my thoughts about the new hero and the future I see for her within For Honor. I first wanted to talk about her design and personality, because she has a ton. The devs did really well with making her stand out amongst the rest of the hero roster, mainly in part due to how happy she is, and how much she enjoys herself. She can't help but flash her pearly whites whenever she's in the fight, and bring a flair that we haven't really seen at all since maybe like Centurion or Gladiator, but honestly, I would argue that she has more expressions and personality than both of those heroes combined. She doesn't seem to take fights too seriously, and I can't help but wonder if that is a nod to our community. Oftentimes it feels like folks can only be happy if they play and win, and they tend to forget that this is a video game. She's a big help in reminding everyone not to take things so seriously all the time, and that it's okay to be goofy and enjoy yourself. Her fashion, executions, and emotes are all an extension of her personality, all showcasing dramatics, laughter, and color. Now, I'm only rep 1 with her, but I already have a nice little black fit, little gold trim on it as well as my own version of Puss in Boots that I like to call Pussy in Boots that's coming along quite nicely. But let's move on to her actual fighting kit. I genuinely think that she has a higher skill ceiling than Highlander, and this is also coming from the same person who's actually rep 70 and above with Highlander. I've played a lot of him. I know a lot of the things you can do with him. I can't always do them because I'm getting older and my reactions aren't that great, but that's besides the point. Anyway, I genuinely think that she has a higher skill ceiling than Highlander. He can do a lot, but she can even do more than him. I truly believe that. I'm really impressed with the devs this time around. This is easily the most complex character in the game as far as that skill ceiling is concerned. And if you're using her entire kit and flowing back and forth in between her different moves, you get to see a lot that you're actually able to do with her, depending on the situation. If you remember in my prior video, I was genuinely worried about Virtuosa. The initial hero trailer did not inspire much confidence with the lack of polish and overall cheaper look of it all. I'm not thinking that they reallocated their funding really hard towards the actual hero kit and the animations that she has, which with their assumed limited budget makes the most sense. It's not like confirmed unless you're an insider, which I am not, but we're like all 99.9% sure that Ubisoft does not give the For Honor devs the same type of budget that they give like fucking Rainbow Six Siege and stuff like that, you know what I mean? So they gotta make do with what they have. It sucks that the trailers and hype may suffer a little bit initially, like those first trailers that come out, if this is the direction that we're going to be going. But if crappier trailers lead to a better and more unique and designed hero, we're going to take what we can get. At the end of the day, the most important thing is the heroes that are in this game, bar none. The devs know that, we know that. That's why we play the game for the most part. And yeah, so if that's what they got to do, that's what they got to do. Alright, but let's go into the actual, like, what she can do and the moves and, like, what I think about her kit in general here. In general, she is a Swiss Army knife style character. Depending on the skill that you have with her and how practiced you are, you can answer almost any situation in duels or ganks with the right moves. She flows really well and has a lot of mix-up potential and answers for what opponents can throw at her. She is simply put very strong. Very strong. I'm hesitant to say OP. She's only been out for a few days, so I don't want to say that just yet. I want to let the dust settle a little bit, see if people can actually learn how to deal with her and whatnot. But it is clear from the onset that parts of her kit are very overtuned. Her evades have basically 0 cooldown, so even when you're surrounded, you could theoretically just auto-dodge anything that's thrown at you, as long as it's not either a guard break or an undodgeable. Also, her lights from postures are very fast, and they can pseudo-counter guard breaks if you're reading your opponents decently enough. She even has crushing counter lights to combat externals and undodgeables flung her way. Her pressure is also quite relentless, especially when starting with one of her blindingly fast 400 ms posture lights. I believe that's the top one from that top posture, as well as her right post lights. It could often feel like you're being stung by wasps like every half second, essentially. Now, we know the devs' history with changing new heroes. Typically, it takes them upwards of 6 months to like a year to make any sort of nerfs or changes. I really don't think they're going to be able to get away with that this time. I'm not dubbing Madam Ultra Instinct here as OP just yet, necessarily. She does have the potential to take over the meta. She has the uncanny ability to use both her offense and her defense to exhibit overwhelming pressure on the battlefield. And the problem only gets worse when she has other Virtuosas on her team. Oftentimes, you can find yourself surrounded by players using her posture, and you are put in an even more no-win scenario than you typically are when you're outnumbered in a gank. Now, let it be known, I'll put a little parentheses here for you guys. I don't think that you should be, super duper revenge invincible, be able to 1v4 everybody that comes your way. That is not fair. If you're outnumbered, you will lose 99% of the time, and that's okay. That's alright. But I do think you should have at least a little bit of a chance. And sometimes when you're fighting, you know, 4 Virtuosas surrounding you, there's not really much that you're able to do at all. If you try to zone or you make space for yourself, they simply just matrix dodge and riposte you instantly. And it is a big pain to have multiple riposts coming your way blindingly fast that you can't really react to. Unless you're BP. I believe BP can flip them, maybe. I don't play him a lot, but I know that he can flip things pretty fast after he throws a move. So I might have to test that out at some point. And then if you try to guard break one of them to get them out of their posture, another one's just going to hit you out of the guard break anyway. So you can't really use, that's not really an answer to it either. It could just be very frustrating at times for sure. Hope is not lost, however, though. Hyper armor heroes are typically decent into her, and she only has limited armor on some of her moves, as most of her kit is very poke-centered. Characters with undodgeables, as mentioned before, can also be quite good into her, as long as they're careful about her reading them, and parrying or using her crushing counters. Again, she kind of has an answer for almost anything, so you have to be very careful with how you're just throwing your moves out. You got to make sure that when you're committing to it that you think you're going to be able to actually get it. Honestly, I think the biggest thing both fighting as her and against her is to try to be patient and breathe. Literally just take a step back, sit back, breathe a little bit. Especially when we're all new with her. We could sometimes, I know I do it myself, we could sometimes find ourselves trying to spam moves out a lot, or we panic really easily because we don't know what to do in any given situation all the time. We end up falling into like spamming moves, falling into really easily readable patterns, stuff like that. Like kind of doing light heavy all the time. But she works best and is also countered best when the player kind of just settles down, unlocks that fencer inside of them, you know what I mean? And they truly like assess what's happening on the battlefield, and they figure out, okay, I should do this, this, and this, try to stay away from this, this, and this, and just plan things out in advance. Overall, I think this hero has a very bright future in front of her, but perhaps it's a little too bright, at least right now. She's without a doubt quite overtuned, and I'm expecting nerfs to her postures, as well as her evade itself. I almost forgot about her feats. In general, they're pretty solid, both the ones that she comes with, like her unique ones, as well as the like alternative ones that she has. Like, I don't really think she has any necessarily bad feats. I know her tier 1 is really fast with its activation, and it instantly puts you in a posture, so that could be really nice to dodge certain things and to access your posture moves really quickly. And then her tier 4 unique one allows you to, I think, heal everybody on the battlefield, like no matter the distance. It's just a worldwide heal basically. She just shouts into the sky and everybody gets healthier. It's pretty cool. But that's really nice to be able to, especially like in tandem with the new health bars that they have in the UI. It's really nice to be able to help your team out a little bit easier that way. I don't know if that's necessarily like, it's definitely strong. But at the end of the day, like, it's not giving them, you know, over shields and stuff like that a bunch, like over their health bar already. It's essentially just giving them a little bit of extra health. I think it's like 40, 50 health or something like that. So it's not like, it's not a small amount of health, but it's definitely not like you're not filling up all their health bars from when they're super low, you know? It's just a nice little thing to help out the team for sure. Now, it does get a little crazy when there's 4 of these Virtuosos and they're all healing at the same time. Then it could get a little nuts. But other than that, you know, once the dust settles and people stop auto-picking her all the time and they go back to their mains and whatnot, it won't be as much of an issue, I don't think. But yeah, I think that about wraps it up here. In general, very cool character. I'm excited to learn her more. But I know full well that she's definitely going to be getting some tuning for sure. She's definitely overtuned, and she's got to be tuned down just a little bit, and I'm saying tuned way too much, so I'm going to stop doing that. But I think that's going to be the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, make sure you're leaving a like, leaving a comment, subscribing, all those other YouTube rigmarole thingamajigs, and we'll catch you on the next one. Until then, I'm FranklinTurtz, your internet turtle. Stay turtly, stay awesome, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye!